What's happening in the UK is absolutely frightening. Joe Rogan pulled back the curtain and exposed some things that I don't think a lot of people are thinking about. Let's take a look at what he found. Oh, it's Orwellian. People say that like it's just an adjective. Joe Rogan, on one of his recent episodes, took a look at what's going on in the UK, particularly with digital IDs and things like that. He sees the danger, and thankfully he's using his platform to call it out. More people need to have their eyes open, because just because it's happening in the UK doesn't mean it can't happen right here in the good old US of A. Let's pull this clip up and take a look at it right quick. He describes the current political situation in the UK with its mandatory digital ID and mass arrest for a very mild social media post. It is an Orwell nightmare coming to life right in front of our face. Let's play the clip.
Ultimately, what you're seeing in other countries is moving to digital IDs. This is just implemented in Europe and in the UK. You're seeing it in a lot of places where you're going to have to need that to work and vote and travel. And it'll be even more of a constriction on your ability to express yourself, particularly when you think about the UK, which has had more than 12,000 arrests for very mild social media posts.
Isn't that crazy? I mean, I can't believe that. I've been watching this stuff play out.
You're seeing a complete, total attack on one of the most fundamental principles of the Western world, which is your ability to express yourself. And your ability to call out that you think that the policies that are being implemented in your country are destructive. That's people have always been able to do that. These people are not calling for violence. They're being arrested for wild things. People are being arrested for liking posts. They're being arrested. Some people were investigated for viewing posts. 12,000 people arrested by the police in the UK, the same place that just implemented digital ID. I mean, this is an Orwell nightmare coming to life right in front of our face. And no one's flinching. If you look at what's going on, like in the UK, what they're learning over there is that they are in a tyrannical government, and it's slowly but surely. It's got its back, it's got the hooks in, and it's putting the rear naked choke in. It's got them locked up. And they've got to do something about that.
Why do you think that's happening?
Why? Because of what we talked about, power and control and resources. And a very limited amount of people are controlling a huge amount of people. This is all the same thing that happens with kings and with emperors. It's control. You got to limit the people's ability to rebel, limit their ability to gather resources, keep them at each other's throats ideologically, keep them fighting over the dumbest shit possible. Meanwhile, closer and closer and closer to total control of the population, where they're even openly stating it. Hillary Clinton said in an interview, if we can't control social media, we lose control. You're not supposed to have control over other human beings. You're going to lose the thing you're not supposed to have.
What do we do? You think that's just happening in the UK? It's happening here. They're wanting to implement digital ID here, digital transactions, all these things. It's just we're already talking about it. I mean, just the other day, our Attorney General Pam Bondi talked about hate speech and how she's going to go after people with hate speech. Now she walked that back, but it was still, she said it. I've said over and over again, there's no such thing as hate speech. There's free speech with critical thinking. We already have laws against things that are illegal, like threats of violence and defamation and things like that. But that's not, we're not talking about free speech here. They don't have that in the UK. This is what's happened in recent times, in recent weeks, when President Trump has been in the UK. And he literally called out Keir Starmer on this. And again, I want to remind you guys, we toss around the word Orwellian. And I don't know that people, we talk about 1984, we talk about George Orwell, and you got to understand, Orwell was literally writing from the perspective of being a democratic socialist. He fought on the socialism side, the socialist side in the Spanish Civil War. But he opposed fascism or dictatorships because in his ideal, it was the authoritarians, it was the dictators that made socialism not work. But he still held on to the socialist ideals. Now, when he talked about the prophecy of 1984 in that novel. I mean, when he talked about these things, it was a dystopian nightmare where, a lot of people, maybe you had to read it in high school or whatever, but what he was writing was a manual of what tyranny looks like when it's perfected, when the authoritarians and the true fascists get in control. So again, this is not people that are conservatives who are calling for free speech, calling for honest debate and dialogue. These are people that are progressively on the left who are shutting it down, who are arresting, as Joe said, 12,000 people in the UK for things like liking a social media post. That's not a person with conservative thought that's doing that. It's not a free speech advocate that's doing that. So when you read 1984, you got the world that's divided into these giant super states, and they're locked in this perpetual war. As Joe said, you got everybody at each other's throats because you have people that are living under constant surveillance, Big Brother's watching everything. Everywhere you go, what you say, what you think. You're not allowed to fall in love. The government rewrites history on the fly, so whatever they say today becomes the truth, and yesterday's reality just gets memory hold. And then people are forced to use a crippled language called newspeak, which is designed to make independent thought literally impossible. And the kicker to it all, the most effective control isn't even the cameras or the police, it's the self-censorship. Because people are policing themselves because they're afraid of being disappeared. I mean, does that sound familiar to you? I mean, that's a book that came out in 1949. That's, 80 years of George Orwell was looking ahead and warning us because he saw the shape of things to come. And right now, what we're seeing in the UK is like a beta version of that world. You got cameras on every corner. The algorithms are already tracking every move we make here. You got speech codes that are being enforced by the police, digital IDs that they're trying to promote there that can link your entire life into one database. And you think it's just about proving your age to buy a beer online. Listen, wait till they decide what else you're allowed to do with your ID, whether it's travel, healthcare, banking, social credit. Then it's not sci-fi anymore. It's policy. It's a reality. And that's the world we're living in. And the thing about it is, it's not going to stop at the UK. Every system of control that's ever existed, it starts small, it's seminal, and then it's going to spread. They roll it out to where people will tolerate it, and they iron out the bugs. You don't think, oh, I'll never fall for that. You fell hook, line, and sinker for the protocols they ran out during COVID. Once they iron out the bugs, man, they make it look normal. They make insanity look normal. And because then they could sell it everywhere under some new marketing name. And if you're sitting in the U.S. and thinking it can't happen here, I want you to think again. See, that's the genius of soft censorship. You don't need a dictator pounding his fist on a balcony. You just need enough fear and enough bureaucracy and enough digital plumbing, and people will build their own cages. We've already seen it. People will rat themselves out. They'll silence themselves. And the elites, they're going to sit back and watch the experiment succeed. And now, why am I saying all this? Well, because if we don't talk about it, if we don't push back on the narrative, we're going to wake up in a world where 1984 isn't a warning, it's a user manual. And I don't know about you, but I'm not okay with living inside some global pilot project for a technocratic control. So I think we can do better than this. We can demand transparency. We need to. We need to call it out. We can fight for the right to speak freely without fear of arrest. We need to reject digital leashes disguised as convenience. Be careful what you do with that AI stuff, man. And y'all are falling for it. I see y'all are posting these videos like it happened. It didn't happen. You're getting fooled by the AI. It's gotten too sophisticated. You can't even recognize it anymore. Folks, freedom isn't something you get once and keep forever. It's something you defend every single generation. And I am not telling you to panic. I'm telling you to wake up, though. We all need to. We all need to pay attention because what's happening in Britain might be the future here tomorrow if we're not careful. And the crazy thing is, Orwell warned us about this 75 years ago, practically handed us the blueprint, and now it's up to us to decide whether we're going to live it or stop it. All right, make sure you're subscribed to the channel on Rumble or YouTube. Join us for the Chad Prather Show Monday through Thursday at 11:10 a.m. Central. And leave us a rating. 5 stars is what we deserve on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And leave us a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Are we headed towards that dystopian future, or are we already there? I want to hear what you got to say. All right. We will talk to you soon. Take care of yourselves. Love you. God bless you. And watch out for Big Brother. All right. Bye.